Good morning, Texas bikers and bikers all across the nation. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio. I want to offer our condolences to the families in Florida of the horrible school shooting that went on down there, where 17 people have died, children and adults. Let me say one thing, and I'm going to be blunt about the FBI. The FBI has once again dropped the ball when a name has come across their desk. Now, as taxpayers, we've spent billions and billions of dollars on digital equipment so they can spy on us all, so they can catch everything that's said on the internet, everything that's said through your cell phones, your home phones, and everything else. For them to sit there and claim now they can't find a single name, I think is ludicrous. I think they just didn't go beyond that point when they went and visited a young man that gave them a tip out of Mississippi. They dropped the ball right there. At the very least, they could have sent out a nationwide bolo that says, Nikolas Cruz wants to be a school shooter. Do you have anybody like this in your area? In turn, your local police department could have contacted the schools and say, hey, do you have a Nikolas Cruz among your students? If you do, there may be a problem. How simple is that? For the college-educated FBI agents and their bosses, maybe they're just looking at a little bit too much. Maybe they're paying attention to the wrong things instead of the security of our nation. If the security of our nation is in their hands, I think we've got problems, because the FBI is quickly turning into the TSA. That's my opinion. Make no doubt this young man is a calculated killer. People will say he's crazy smart. He came up with a plan, he executed it to a T, and actually escaped. And there's another thing too. We need to take a look at our children and how they're being raised in this digital society. Are they functioning on an even keel? Are they spending too much time with their gadgets? Are they spending too much time in the game rooms? Are you not paying attention to your child? I know it's not like it was when we were kids, when we could roam the neighborhoods and feel safe. Now we deliver our children and our grandchildren to every place they go. We supervise. We are there for them. It's a whole total different scenario. This is not about gun control. It's not about that. There will be people that come out here and say, oh, we got to get rid of the guns. You're not going to get rid of the guns. If an evil person wants to do something evil, they're going to do it. Whether they use a gun, whether they use a bomb, whether they use a knife, whether they use an automobile. And don't think that the people around the world that want to create the terrorism aren't looking at this. Don't think they're not looking at it. And right now, thanks to our military, who's getting the job done. Matter of fact is 18, 19, 20-year-olds with guns are doing the job of taking on terrorists. And I know I'm getting off subject, but this is a fact. Know what your kids are doing. Take a look at what they're reading on their digital gadgets. Know what their friends are saying. And when you see something wrong, say something about it. And the children that suspected that this shooter was most likely to come back and harm the students. I don't know what that says. I don't know what to think about that. Someone should have spoke up. Someone said something to a teacher, a parent, anybody. Hey, this kid is most likely to come back and shoot us. I'm just saying. We've got to take a look at ourselves. You ask if the Texas schools are safe, I'm going to categorically tell you no. Our high schools that have thousands of students in them have multiple buildings that they jump from building to building all day long. I'm just saying. Think about it. Think about what our politicians are doing. Think about what our school boards are doing, which is a whole lot of nothing. And we've got to take a look at the fact that we keep electing politicians over and over and over again who do nothing but fight and squabble with each other over parties and ideology. We send them there to do a job for us. And the ones right now who are not willing to get along, not willing to solve problems, you need to remove them. And the primaries are upon us. It's probably too late. You've got the candidates you've got. And I would suggest that you start picking citizen candidates instead of politicians. There are common sense solutions to these problems, but politicians don't seem to be able to get past their ideologies. And common sense is not in their vocabulary. Since these school shootings and these mass shootings have started, there needed to be actions taken. Number one, to harden the securities at our schools. That needs to be done, and it has been ignored. Even college campuses will tell you, oh, here, we're not here to police the students, we're here to educate them. With that kind of attitude, that is opening the gates to these type terrorists. We have to have a different attitude about when it comes to our schools, when it comes to our children. And we need to quit worrying about other countries and people from other countries to the point that it's detrimental to the rest of us, that it's detrimental to our nation, detrimental to our children. We've got to man up and do the right thing by our children. And so far, educators have been unwilling to do that. So we're going to have to take them there. Each high school should have its own security team. And it should be able to match whatever comes at them. I think the FBI owes us an explanation, and I think there should be some people fired. And I would start at the top and work my way down to the person that dropped the ball. If little old me can think of a nationwide bolo that filters down to the schools, think about it. This is Butch Popeye Moss with Texas Biker Radio. Have a good day, and our hearts are broken with the people in Florida.